morning shift.
Anything
could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
All right, and welcome to the morning shift, Sudbury News Talk, CKLU 96.7 FM. I'm AJ Walsh. I'm glad to be here with you today, and it's going to be a great day. It is Friday, March the 10th, 2023. Got a great show planned for you. Pierre Benham is going to be coming on at about 7:45 to not only talk about how his birthday week is going, but how we'll go over all of the headlines. The Renee Sweeney case is still going ahead. They had some DNA experts testifying at the Wright hearing. We'll also talk about two incidents that we had downtown back to back. Pretty disturbing incidents, anyways. The city clock, the person that was getting to a part of a class action lawsuit opposing vaccine mandates. The city is ready for that. We'll talk a little bit more about that. A little bit to do with firefighters in the news again. Talked about that a couple days ago, if not yesterday. That's right. So lots to talk about today, and much, much more. When we have Pierre on, who knows where it could go, and with your comments as well. We're not sure as well who is trying to get in touch. Oh, here's Pierre. Be a little bit late, so just before 8. That's not a problem. Thanks, Pierre, for letting me know, and I can take it. That's not a problem whatsoever. So looking forward to him coming on, and thanks for letting me know. I'll just give him a thumbs up here. Okay, so we got much to talk about. We're live on CKLU 96.7 FM. We're also on CKLU.ca. We're streaming there. So you just click on the Radio Player Canada logo. You can stream us. You can download the same Radio Player Canada app by just clicking on the logo, and you can take us with you. Listen to us anywhere, anytime on your favorite device. Also, all the other great programming that CKLU has, you can listen to that as well. So good morning, Monique. Thanks for being with us. Looks like there's just a few of us on so far. I'm not the only kind of groggy one this morning, I guess, or whatever. I don't know if you're groggy, but I am. So there's usually a bit more of us on by this time. Oh, and Nick will be here too. Okay, well, there you go. We're going to have lots to talk about with Nick and Pierre apparently today. So going to have a great show. That's all I can say. So thanks for being with us. We'll just thank our Facebook and YouTube moderators because they do such a great job on such great platforms to be able to enable us to do this show on the way that we do with such little resource. We're able to have a great conversation with you each and every morning. So thank you to those platforms. You can catch us facebook.com/Sudbury News, youtube.com/Sudbury News. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, and mainly comment. The one thing about after the show's comments, if you watch the show after it's live and you comment, I have difficulty going in and seeing the comments for some reason on Facebook anyways, and I'm not sure why. And I know YouTube, they're entirely, it only shows up every once in a while. Not sure why. But anyways, make sure to comment. And this is your conversation. So whenever you want to chime in on anything, and even to keep us in line, if we're saying anything that you feel might not be correct, that's definitely a time to comment and let us know what it is. If you have information on something we're talking about, that's the reason why we're having this conversation, is to just everybody together has something valuable to add to the conversation. So without further ado, let's just get the show kicked off. with a little bit of weather, some sports, maybe some gas prices. And yes, good morning, David. Stay safe. Thanks for that. And hopefully you're having a great Friday. Looking forward to the weekend. Well, let's look at what kind of weekend we're going to have in terms of weather right now. All right, so currently it is
Right now.
just going to mute Nick's microphone there, and we are now and Sudbury weather. Here you go. Okay, feels like minus 16, but it is currently minus 7. Today we can expect cloudy, 30% chance of flurries this morning, risk of freezing drizzle early in the morning. High of minus 4, wind chill minus 17 in the morning, minus 10 this afternoon. Tonight, cloudy, 30% chance of flurries overnight. Wind north 30 kilometers, gusting to 50. Wind chill minus 11 this evening, minus 20 overnight. So still chilly overnight. Saturday, cloudy, 30% chance of flurries in the morning. And wind chill minus 20, like we said, in the morning, then minus 12 in the afternoon. And as you can see, the forecast looks entirely different than what it looked like yesterday. It was mix and sun of cloud all the way through till next week. As of yesterday's forecast, barely any snow in the forecast. Tomorrow, it's 30% chance of flurries. Sunday, it is 60% chance of flurries, high of minus 5. And then 60% chance of flurries on Monday, high of minus 5. And then we get a mix of sun and clouds. So it's amazing how much the weather can change. And so I'm going to entirely not put too much effort into weather as I can see as much as I have. Just get through it quickly. A look at the latest satellite for those that are on YouTube and Facebook. For those on the radio, there's just a lot of clouds going the usual over the populated areas in the Great Lakes and over the Great Lakes going into Quebec. That is your Sudbury weather, brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. We'll be back. A little bit of sports right after this. All right, and your Sudbury Sports brought to you by that Sudbury Sports Guy's website. That's Randy Pascal. And his website is SudburySports.com. For all things Sudbury Sports, visit SudburySports.com. The Sudbury 5 were in action last night, and they won 130 to 104 against the Flint United. The Flint United will be back in town also on Saturday night to finish off their comeback, because the 5 got off to an early lead last night and won the first 2 quarters and gave them enough to win the game. However, they lost the last 2 quarters, and so Flint are probably ready to take that momentum right into Saturday's game. But luckily, we had a Braylon Racing on our team. He's welcome back to the 5, and that's what Coach Logan Stutz also said. We got Braylon. That's exactly what we got. And Braylon's back, and so that's good. But Braylon Racing is glad to be back. He says he loves the team and his teammates. Felt back at home. He played with most of these players before. He said he loves Sudbury. He can't lie. He hates the weather. So do I. But everything else about Sudbury, he loves. He promises you. If I could retire here, I would. Pretty awesome. That's Braylon Racing. Now, they'll be in action on Saturday, so get your tickets. Sudbury, greatersudbury.ca/tickets for those tickets, or visit the5.ca for more information on that as they play the Flint United again. Sudbury Wolves are going to be in action tonight in town, and they are playing against the London Knights, everyone. And no, I already have the Wolves Insider. I don't need the Wolves Insider. Got it already. Thank you very much, though, for asking. Sudbury Wolves will be facing off against the London Knights, as we said. But guess who's back in town? Dale Hunter, former captain of the Sudbury Wolves and been the coach of the London Knights forever, and has done so much for that team. London Knights have been a winning team just for as long as I could remember. So many players coming out of that team. Anyways, coming off their win 9-2 against the Sioux Greyhounds on Wednesday, the Wolves are looking to build on that, but the London Knights are not going to give them an easy time. They just lost last night against the Barrie Colts. They're second in a row they've lost, which isn't, they're not used to stuff like that. So they're going to be looking for revenge on or not looking for revenge against the Sudbury Wolves, because they have nothing against the Sudbury Wolves. They just want to win. They don't want to lose. So they lost 2 games in a row, and they're going to be back to win. So the Wolves got a fight on their hands tonight, which is Pride Night at the Sudbury Arena. Sponsor is Canadian Blood Services. They'll be on hand with great prizes. Then the Sudbury Wolves will head off to Barrie, the same team that beat the London Knights, tomorrow. Very tough opponent, as you can see. So the Wolves got their hands full tonight, but you want to get out and support them. You want to be in the stands. You want to cheer them on, and you want to have a great time. So get out, support the Sudbury Wolves, and they put on a great show on the ice and great show in between as well. You'll have a great time, and it's not that expensive at all. Tickets are very low, so go to greatersudbury.ca/tickets. Get your tickets for the Sudbury Wolves tonight. If you can't make it for some strange reason, we'll have the game right here on CKLU 96.7 FM. And we'll be back with some other stuff. And a Nick Gervais right after this. All right, and Nick, you are here. I can hear you. Your hair looks good.
Hello.
Hello. Now, okay.
That was really loud, eh?
All right. My ears are working. Thank you. Thanks for
By
that.
accident, when I was sharing this group, tagged a Sensi spiel on my post. So it's why you need to join Sensi, but I'm sharing Sudbury news. But usually I thought I was copying saying come listen to some unbiased news talk, your show. Let's go. Anyway.
Okay, well, that's not a problem. We'll welcome Sensi consultants to the show. Not a problem. So
it's not Sensi consultants. It's sharing there's a massive join special this month. So you can start your own business for $33 instead of $129. So I was doing business work earlier. I meant to be here earlier and didn't realize that it was 7:30.
At the same time, though, it's good for you because then you just were able to plug it as well. So if they were able to come on, they just heard some details. So $33, is that what you said? 30 some bucks?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can start your own business for $33.
Yep. It's like the price of a nightlight. A little nightlight's $33, and the nightlight you get is so adorable. So
the idea of Sensi, just to let everyone
if
know.
anybody's out there looking to make some extra income, message me. We can talk about it later after the show.
And I really have to say, I was really impressed, just surprised at how popular Sensi is amongst people, because I work mainly with women, and you put a little package together before for my coworkers, and I would have swore it was chocolate or something. They came to it as if they wanted to devour the Sensi, and I was like, is this stuff this popular with this many people? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, you guys really like this. They're like, we order this stuff all the time. And I said, wow, it's just incredible how popular Sensi is and how many people purchase it. So if you do want to make some extra money, there's a lot of customers out there who do want it. And the idea is it's basically a candle. Now, they've changed.
That's what it is.
They've changed the technology of a candle to, instead of having a fire with a wick that burns and makes the scent, of the candle, it's a warmer that you plug in, and so it's
a light bulb.
Yeah, exactly. So it lights up, so it looks cool. It could be a night light too. A lot of us have those. We just plug them in. But it also, you put your favorite scent in there, and it's a thing of wax similar to a candle. Yeah. And instead of the fire burning it down, it's a bulb, so it heats it. So it's similar. It's just they just changed technology. Very innovative. And I've seen this time and time again where people just take something that's common, just tweak it a bit, and then put it out there, and they do very well. And the owners of Scentsy, kudos to them. So good morning, Judy. Thanks for being with us. Hope you're having a happy and great Friday. Diane as well.
You don't have to worry about any soot when you're burning a candle. Where does the candle go?
That's
you're breathing
right.
that in. And on that wick, sometimes there's lead in that wick. Once lead goes into your body, you can never get it out. And I've watched this like pretty crazy documentary, Aaron, lately on lead and the lead companies creating paint, the paint industry to put lead in the paint. And a lot of people in like New Orleans would have to scrape their paint off their houses, and their children ended up getting brain damage
because
just
of the
from being
fumes
around the area. It's a massive industry problem. I didn't realize how dangerous lead was. So yeah, you don't really want to burn. If you're burning low quality candles, I would not touch anything from the dollar store or Walmart.
That's right. And a lot of the things from China or whatever we're getting these days, I remember as a kid, there's this toxic smell you get from toys and stuff when I was a kid. And then they realized there was lead inside of it. And then, a big campaign to stop it. And then toys started just smelling like rubber, normal rubber again. But I find a lot of things I get from China nowadays, it's got that same toxic smell back again like it used to have when I was younger. And so you have to be aware, and you got to, your health is yours. So you want to take control of that. Good morning, Vin. Thanks for being with us, my friend. Diane says,
it might be like a bit of probably my tin hat wearing, but like if I was China and I'm trying to take over the world, and I'm creating all the toys and all the products for the West, why not put some lead in that stuff just to like really dumb you guys down and create so much health problems without you even knowing?
Well, it's a good thing you're not the leader of China, that's for sure, because then you would have thought of that,
Well,
maybe he's watching this show and he's like, hey, that's a great idea, Nick. Maybe I should try that, or maybe he might have thought of that before, like you're suggesting, right?
Who knows?
Possibly. So
we don't live in that type of evil world. That we don't have anything like that to worry about.
That's right. So if I said bon matin, vendredi matin.
Bon vendredi.
Bon vendredi.
Bon matin.
Bon matin. Okay,
Vendredi.
cool. So Good Friday kind of thing. It translates, obviously.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Good Friday.
It's
good
Friday.
Day. It is Friday for sure. Hiya, Nick from Diane. Apparently, Joe Poe. If you're watching today, welcome. I'm a fan of your music, by the way. Love your voice. And good morning, Julia. Thanks for being on. Yes, you know Julia.
Yeah, it's my dad's girlfriend.
Good morning. I hope everyone's having a great day. I just want to have a good show today. I just want to feel the love. I just want to just have positive vibes, even though news by itself, not a lot of positive vibes in it. There's lots of strange things.
Do you need some love, Aaron? Are you having a stressful morning, or we need to send Aaron some love?
Yeah, stressful life. I mean, like we all have, and it's just good to have this type of conversation in the morning, just to give you a little pep up, just a little pep in your day, just a little infusion of positivity, But at the same time, we're discussing things sometimes that could tend to be not so positive, but at the same time, it doesn't need to mean that we need to not be positive or be less positive, right? So
it's true. Well, this is your passion. This is your baby. This has been a dream of yours, even though you have so much going on constantly and people are always pulling you in different directions, and you're part of so many organizations. And I feel like people always come to you when they have issues. So as a person, like I can somewhat relate to that because of my big Scentsy group. It can get exhausting because you're taking in all this stuff, and then all of a sudden you're the type of person who constantly wants to help people. So when I come out with a problem, you're willing to help, and now you're helping all these people, and then you're trying to juggle your own life and your work full time, and doing this show. Like, we're volunteers here. This is not a paid program.
No.
A lot happens behind closed doors, and when you're exhausted, you can't just take a day off. No, you need to show up. So
it's
kudos
true.
to you, Aaron.
And I'm thankful for that though, because a lot of times in the morning I'm like, oh, can I do this? And then I just have to rise to it, and I just gotta kind of get positive energy from somewhere and just do it. And it's a great exercise. It exercises the brain. It exercises the ability to communicate early in the morning and whatever. Adam is chiming in here, and he says what I think a lot of us are aware of. Don't look into the manufacturing processes for dollar store products if you are worried about harmful chemicals. I tend to agree with that. Belinda, good morning.
So the craft dinner that you buy at dollar store is not the same craft dinner that you would buy at Independent, for example. They have a completely different manufacturing process.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I agree.
I would definitely, dollar store, be aware of what you're buying and what it's for. But yeah, Belinda's saying it's spring is in the air, and I happen to agree with that, a rebirth. So peace and love. Thank you very much, Belinda. Yes, it's going to be looking forward to spring. We had the weather forecast looked a lot better yesterday going forward than it did today. However, I'm not going to let that hamper me one bit. Now, things that if you want to get out and enjoy spring, Diane says, not sure how to spell your name. No, you got the first ones right. Yes. Aaron would be the correct spelling.
Aaron.
Usually the male spelling is the first one, and the female spelling is the E spelling, E-R-I-N. Not always, though. I've seen it before where others have spelled it differently. And you can spell your name however you want, but that's just the way it says on my birth certificate. So if you want to get out and start spring off, and get out of the house and do something, because, it's been 3 years, Nick, since they've officially called this, what we've been going through for the last few years, the official start date, it was this weekend kind of thing in March when they said it is a pandemic and we're going to just start doing pandemic-y kind of things.
Wow, it's our 3-year anniversary.
3-year anniversary today. So
wow.
So do you think it's been a mainly positive 3 years, Nick, or do you think it's been not positive? What would you say if you had to choose between the two, positive or no, for the last 3 years?
If I had to choose between the two, it's really hard, Aaron, because I believe that negative things bring us to positive things. Like, I believe that destruction is necessary for where we need to go. So because I know the big picture, I know it's a positive thing. If I didn't know the big picture, it's a very, very negative thing.
True. And that's the reason for this show too. And then we talked about news a lot of times, it's negative. However, understanding it and kind of unpacking it and knowing where it fits in things, you can feel a lot better with that. It's not as scary then. So you can have a discussion about it. And so, yeah, understanding the world around you, which you got to know a lot more, right? Over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Knowing.
I've lost, some friends. I've lost a relationship, but my business boomed because everyone was stuck in their house and everyone wants their house to smell nice. So that was amazing. I made new friends. It's been a really good filter in life. And I just know that this is what we needed to happen. I believe there's a new earth being created. I believe there's new, better things for us. But, this system, I've never really connected with it. It just needs to collapse. And I just feel like it's going to.
Well, it kind of is. I think no matter what, it looks like all factors are pointing to that. And now Miles is asking if we have AI listeners on. I'm not sure. That'll be the future, I guess. Just avatars, AI avatars out there. We kind of have them already online, right? And stuff like that. So like fake accounts and stuff. So the Sudbury Performance Group presents a one-act festival this weekend. 4 shows performed each evening on March the 10th and March 11th. You can enjoy 4 plays in one night.
Wow.
For more information, go to sudburyperformance.ca. I really like what the Sudbury Performance Group is doing. They seem to be really innovative with their, their live acts and things like that. Seem to have a
Their,
great
sh-
time.
their shows are great. Like people
Mhm.
really need to go participate in our arts because we have some amazing talent in
Yeah.
Sudbury.
100% for sure. People move. Sorry, I'm just looking at Belinda here. People are more engaged and getting more involved with the government. Humanity really needed to do this. Oh, back to our last
Yes.
conversation, like how we've been doing for the last 3 years, for sure. I
Yes.
did notice a lot more people are more political now, definitely. It's kind of like they've had to decide where they stand or something. Have you noticed that? It's kind of like, where do you stand? And everyone before go, I don't know. I guess I'm this. I don't know. I really
But
don't.
now people have an opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's great.
I think so. I
It's
really
great.
do. Yeah, for sure. And as long as we're able to communicate, this is the thing a little frustrating for me is when you want to have a conversation and it's too hard for someone to continue to talk.
Don't want to have this conversation.
Yeah, don't want to talk. No, I'm done now. And it's like, So it doesn't.
Why are you
doesn't
getting
make
so triggered?
Doesn't make sense to me. It's like I've always wanted to communicate, especially people that are close to you, and you want them to understand you. And you're like, no, I meant this. And then you feel that they go away thinking something different of you than what you really are. That's a little frustrating to me, anyways.
Yep.
Okay, so city prepared for class action lawsuit opposing vaccine mandates. Talked about this the other day. So here we go. City prepared for class action lawsuit opposing vaccine mandates, confident they were right to deploy a vaccine mandate earlier in the pandemic. I guess we're sticking with the theme here, I guess. City of Greater Sudbury staff are prepared to join others by defending themselves in a class action lawsuit. Okay, so City Corporate Services General Manager Kevin Folk told Sudbury.com, we've got this obligation to take every precaution reasonable in the circumstances to protect a worker, which dictates all city staff members must be fully vaccinated against COVID-19. That's a general occupational health and safety tenet. A class action lawsuit filed against 72 Ontario municipalities, school boards, and municipal organizations claims that vaccine mandates resulting in an unvaccinated losing their jobs were, quote unquote, unconstitutional. Do you think, Nick, that the vaccine mandates proposed by employers, which would be the city of Sudbury, which is also a governmental institution, municipal government, do you think that was unconstitutional? Yes or no?
100%. Yes.
Okay, there you go. Good answer. So all the plaintiffs possess a consciousness and or physical medical reason for refusing to take the COVID-19 vaccines. Do you think there were legitimate reasons for people, medical reasons for not taking the COVID-19 vaccinations? Yes or no?
Yes.
Wow, you're doing good this morning. Okay. The plaintiffs further state that there is no obligation to seek any exemption before refusing the vaccines. The statement of claim includes various points of misinformation regarding the pandemic. Oh, who said this? The statement of claim includes various points of misinformation regarding the pandemic, including a claim that COVID-19 was not a pandemic, beyond and or exceeding the consequences of the fallout of the COVID-19 annual flu or influenza. So I guess in the statement of claim, they said it wasn't any more dangerous than the flu or influenza. Was it any more dangerous than the flu or influenza? Yes or no?
I'm going to say no.
Man, did you study for this show this morning? Interesting.
Yeah, I did. Real hard all night.
So what happened during the first year of the pandemic, there were no influenza numbers out there for some strange reason. Do you remember that?
Yes. Nobody was getting the flu. Pierre's on, by the way, too.
Oh, Pierre. Oh, my goodness. I never even saw you there. Are we 8 o'clock? We're 8 o'clock. There you go. He's right on time.
I'm spying on you.
Well, good morning, Pierre. How you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Pardon my disheveled appearance here. I just taught a yoga class, so
Okay, well, I'm going to put you full screen for a second. Oh, no, there's a Nick. Okay. You're down there. That's what's happening. Hey, Nick, there
And
you
Nick's
are.
back.
Okay, so we got,
The world traveler is home.
she
Yeah,
is,
that's
yes.
awesome.
So, yeah, so we're just talking about, because it's the 3-year anniversary of declaring the pandemic or whatever. And then there's this this lawsuit, class action lawsuit, in which somebody is included the greater city of Sudbury in. City of Sudbury is digging in their heels, saying they're going to fight tooth and nail, saying they still believe that in order to have the vaccine, it's keeping their employees safe. Do you feel that by
I
having the
thought we were
vaccine,
following the science. Like the science has come out. It doesn't help. It doesn't stop the spread whatsoever. The studies have come out.
so is there evidence out there, Pierre, that says if you've been vaccinated, do you have a less chance of getting or spreading COVID-19? Yes or no?
No.
Man, everyone's getting right answers today. It's just
It was
that's
ambiguous
right.
before. It was a debate before, but 3 years in, I mean, it's just do a 2-minute Google search, and it's official sources, or I don't know. That's the science now. So, and science isn't about a fixed answer, right? Science is a process, and the process comes from testing and retesting and repeating, and now we know. So
For sure. So
the
Judy's the science is out. Yeah, we have numbers now. We were just talking about the city was saying that the class action lawsuit contained misinformation because it said that the pandemic was, or whatever, the COVID-19 was no more dangerous than a flu or influenza when you look back at it now. And they said that was misinformation. Do you believe that was misinformation?
I don't know that one. I don't know.
Okay.
Just because I remember way back somebody showed me some stats about how many people die of influenza every year versus
Okay.
COVID, and it was similar.
It
We
was
just don't
exactly
know.
the same, actually, to tell you the truth.
Was it?
It was
Okay.
exactly the same. So that's why they're saying it was no more dangerous, because the numbers were the same as the influenza numbers. And then
Let's
oddly,
not forget how many people died in a car crash and they labeled it COVID.
True. Yeah.
So the numbers are actually not accurate. So even with them doing that, the numbers are the same with influenza.
Yeah.
That's scary.
and the reason why
I
you're
think
saying that, go ahead.
I think
Pierre.
there were a few shark attacks in 2021, and
Okay.
the people who got eaten by sharks happened to be tested positive for COVID, so they died of COVID.
So that's what the
man.
problem was. And I
Not
was just
making
gonna, no, and then when Nick said about the cars and things like that, so someone would die, then they would test them, and if they had
Mhm.
COVID, and then you get this whole thing where someone died a COVID related death. Have you ever heard that term used?
Related.
COVID related death. What does that even mean?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
They died near COVID.
Like, how can you
I
die
know
near COVID?
a father had this whole video went viral. He said, my son died of suicide, not of COVID. It was suicide.
Yeah.
Happened because of the lockdowns.
Yeah.
But he didn't die of COVID.
How many
died of a
people died
suicide.
because they didn't get surgeries because surgeries were canceled? How many people died because they couldn't get, treatments, whether it's for diabetes, for cancer, for whatever illness they had that they really needed treatment or needed to see somebody? How many people died there? Where's the numbers there? How can we compare them? Are they being accumulated? No, they're not. So
if we ever went to court, and I went to court with someone and half of my story was a lie, then everything would just get thrown out of court. So as soon as I saw these numbers of like real testimonies of my mom died of cancer, she's been like struggling with cancer for 4 years and she's died. They don't say cancer, they write COVID. As soon as you see all these testimonies, I'm like, okay, something's going on here. This is not legit. If this was legit, you wouldn't have to lie.
Mm-hmm.
So Miles says, ask this question. Are the effects or symptoms of COVID-19 stronger or weaker after getting the vaccine or multiple vaccines? I'll just add to that.
Well, all I know is that people who get the vaccine get COVID multiple times, and I've only gotten it once. It was very minor. And I know a lot of people who've gotten the vaccine, and it was not minor.
I went 18 months without a vaccine and without COVID. And a few weeks after I had to get the shot or I was going to lose my job, and I did it. And I got COVID twice within 3 months after.
Right.
And I can't breathe outside anymore, and I have a numb chest.
Okay. Well, there's a little.
So basically from my breasts up here, it's completely tight when I do cardio now. Like I can't breathe. I don't know.
Wow.
I've never had that before in my life.
Interesting. So that's just a little sample from the two people that are on the show here, or just from our two guests. So I guess that's all we can kind of do, and the people that are on here.
Yeah.
So our Adam is saying the fact that you couldn't question there in capital letters science or risk censorship speaks volumes about the how unscientific their process was. Scientific theories are supposed to be open to peer review to confirm and questioning by above that. Science is questioning, by the way, always questioning. And you're always,
There's people that are realizing that there were mistakes and lies and all of that. And, there's a couple of movie stars. What's his name? Oh, Tim Robbins.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen anything with him. He apologized. He said, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I see now that the conspiracy theorists were right. So he's on a crusade now to kind of just get to the truth. He's like, I'm not picking sides. I just want truth, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And he's being attacked left and right like crazy. It's insane.
And that's what tells you truth is usually attacked, right? That's the thing. What is that saying again? What the process truth goes through? Like when someone speaks the truth, it's attacked.
First they condemn you.
Yep.
First they mock you, then they condemn you. No, first they condemn you, then they mock you. I forget how it goes. There's like 4 steps.
Yeah, it's vehemently
yeah.
opposed, and then but the end, then it's accepted by the end. Like eventually it goes through a process, then it's just accepted as the truth, even though it goes through all that. And I think we're experiencing this in real time with all the things we've been going through.
The weird thing is how medical issues became politicized. When in the world has that ever happened? That was bizarre. Like it should be just a fact. It's just health.
What's bizarre is that I was not allowed to eat at a restaurant, but the server was allowed to be unvaccinated. Like nothing made sense. Nothing made sense.
No.
And everyone just went along with it. Most of the crowd were like, oh, okay, that's okay. If this is what we got to do. I was like, guys, if we just go along with the crowd here, this is dangerous. Like,
yeah.
This was the best. This was the best, though. Remember, you can take off your mask to eat, but if you stood up, you had to put your mask on.
Right.
Yeah.
So just if you're a believer in all this, which a lot of people are, and it's fine. Wrestling can be real to a lot of people as well, and it's okay. So you put your mask off to eat. Now, can the virus get out of your exhaust system in your body if you're sitting down? Just as much as if you stand up.
No. It's only when you're standing, because then your lungs are more extended.
Yes.
So then, the air comes out of your mouth further. And because you're standing, there's more of like a reach.
Yeah, sure. So that's the thing. And I remember going to a restaurant. I had to put my mask on in order to walk to the table. But as soon as I sat down, I could take my mask off. And then everyone's got their mask off, sitting right next to each other in tables. Everyone's got their masks off talking. So air, if you followed the air and it was visible to follow, you would see everyone's air coming out of their mouths and it would all be mixing in to that place. But then you stand up, you got to put your mask on. So what the freak was that? Anyway, stuff like, and then the curfews after 10 o'clock. What, the virus goes to sleep or something? Or wakes up after 10?
It's
I don't
like
know.
the whole mask thing. Everyone's touching their mask. Everyone's touching their mask and then touching everything. Like, I don't have a mask on, so I'm not touching my face.
Yeah, so it's even more sanitary or whatever. Safe.
Just wash your hands
Yeah.
Just wash your hands.
Does it-
But
does
the
it-
studies came out, I think it was Stanford or Harvard. They made a study about the mask and they proved
Mhm.
that, in fact, it made no difference.
Mhm.
Zero difference.
There's
Okay.
a documentary that refers to that study. I could dig it up somewhere on YouTube or whatever. Actually, it's probably banned on YouTube. But anyway, it said the history of the mask, basically. And
Yes.
even in operating rooms, even surgeons, the mask is a medical ritual that gives people comfort before protection. It's a fact. Like, it's a study. It's so the entire history of it was, we better put this mask on because we got to protect this. But these surgeons were interviewed and they just said, just wash your hands. That has way more impact. If you wash your hands 50 times a day, that has way more protection than wearing a dirty piece of paper on your face that was made on a floor in Bangladesh, you know?
Right. Not exactly. You saw those factories. And wash your hands with soap. Don't use antibacterial stuff
No.
that you've been wiping on your skin and then eating. Like, I was on a train and someone sprayed their hands with this toxic stuff, did this, grabbed a sandwich and started eating it. And I'm like, dude, you're killing all your good bacteria in your stomach right now.
Yeah. It's not logical.
Again,
No.
right?
It's
Just logic
this
went out the
entire
window.
This entire thing is two sort of poles. Who benefits? So obviously it's about money and power, but it's also about fear. Like, it's not about health, it's not about science, it's about fear. And I feel bad for some people. Like, every once in a while you see somebody and they're still in the mask in their car,
Alone.
in 2023.
By themselves.
And I just feel bad for them because they're living in fear. It's like, how do you talk? And it's not about being mean or political. It's just the fear is so ingrained. It's so wired in now. It's like, you got to get over this. It's like, just go back to first principles. Like, your immune system is a very powerful, amazing thing. Bacteria, like all those things, you go right back to first principles and then you reverse engineer it. And it's like, this is dumb. Like, let my kid go and play in the dirt and let a dog lick the kid's face. Like, that's a simple thing.
Like, you have to ask yourself, how did we get this far as human beings?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? After all we've been through, how did we get here? It was because we were made to get here. We're made to do it.
It's a sanitized. It's our culture. We want to have this technical sort of control over everything because we feel out of control. But the reason we feel out of control is because we want control.
Yeah.
It's like, just go with how things have worked for 10,000 years.
Exactly. Now Miles saying that wasn't his question, even though I read the question verbatim. So I'm not sure, Miles, if you want to ask the question again. The question was that got us off on this rant. Is the effect or symptoms of COVID-19 stronger or weaker after getting the vaccine?
There's no evidence of that because they won't test
read it.
There's no evidence of, because remember how they changed the story? First, the vaccine prevented it. Then it protects. Then it made your illness less bad, less terrible,
less chance of going to the hospital.
But there's no evidence of that. There's no study.
There has been evidence of, now they're sharing. It's been on the news. It's been in the newspaper how there's more people in ICU that are vaccinated than unvaccinated. And they've proven that now people who are unvaccinated have way more
immunity
immunity towards the virus because of natural immunity than if you had the vaccine.
If they've had COVID,
If they had COVID,
Who would have thought natural immunity, right? Who would have thought that would have
just
actually
how
been
God
a thing?
created our bodies.
Yeah, but who's God? Like, does he really know what he's doing?
No.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
We just need a scientist in a lab to do it.
If I had a chance between God and Fauci, I mean,
right.
Fauci's a scientist.
Did Jesus come with a mask?
I think
Jesus
he did.
Get vaccinated?
I think he would, for sure. Definitely.
There's no way.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
It's always
because why? What are you afraid of?
What would he say in a way, right? If you said, he would say something like, you have little faith in some ways, I would think, right? You don't have enough faith that You could, I made you properly or something, like,
Right.
are you doubting me? Kind of thing. Okay. So
Right.
Denise, good morning. I'm sorry it took a while to get around, but I hope you're having a great Friday. We're having a deep dive discussion, obviously. And here's Adam again. So first,
They condemn you, then they mock you, then they call you a racist, fringe minority.
okay. Those are the
That's
the
true.
steps. The steps, yeah. Okay, exactly,
Yeah.
100% agree. That's probably from something a while ago. Caribbean says, Nick?
They just wanted to create a divide and instill fear so they can control the masses while also profiting on us.
Yeah, seems like they wanted to wipe out the old folks. Oh, no. I hope
Well,
not.
Well, they cost a lot of money.
If you were an alien and you landed on the planet and all you had was an unbiased spreadsheet of data and you looked at it, you'd go, oh, they just tried to wipe out people with diabetes, overweight, over 65
Yeah.
with this, because that's what it was fundamentally. There are exceptions, of course, but the majority of those, I don't know what the number is, but it's high. It's like 2/3 have at least two of those things.
And are we having these conversations now? Like, we're having this conversation right now. And I'm sure a lot of people listening, and I apologize if it's hard to listen to some degree, but are we
Hard.
are we having these conversations now, like true, or are we still feeling like it's taboo and we can't really openly talk about what we just went through for the last 3 years?
Not in mixed company. Not in mixed company. No. I've been in dinners where people got up and left because they refused to even.
Well, because they followed the crowd, and now the science is coming out. It's clear they do not, because they would make fun of me. They unfriended me. They, left me. So now they can't even go there. Their minds can't even fathom that I was right.
No. And I've got a lot of things bookmarked in my phone because I was kind of a moderate. I wasn't a hardcore, like, no. I was like, let me see what this is. But then with the work that I was doing, I was pushed into a corner, and it was like on the last day we had a deadline, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll do it once. And it was the hard. I really regret it. And but I bookmarked stuff on my phone. I have a friend who's a total data fiend, who you cannot argue with this person. She knows data about everything, and it's up to date. I don't know how the hell she does it. But anyway, I bookmarked all this stuff, and every once in a while I pull it up, like Center for Disease Control, World Health, like their own sites. Oh, no, that's not true. People just freak out. So it's like, okay, then there's no point. There's no point in discussion.
I heard back in the day, Twitter was taking down things that were right from the CDC website, and they were taking them down saying misinformation.
It's not like about being right. It's about truth. Yeah. Like every once in a while, I come across something that's evidence of something, and it's like, oh, this is throwing me off. This is cognitive dissonance. This is not what I believe. And it takes a while. Your brain goes, oh, and then you keep reading it, and you're like, okay, I guess it's true. Shoot. Okay, my whole worldview has shifted. All right. Got to deal with that. How do I deal with it?
But isn't that what you want? That's what you want.
Being human.
Exactly.
Like that's why we need to have these conversations.
Yeah.
And evolve. How are we supposed to evolve if we aren't open to evolving? Like, I'm super open to evolving. And when I realize, when I'm listening to someone, or someone makes a suggestion to me or something, and I get triggered, there's something there, Nick. Hold on to that, because there's an opportunity for you to grow right there.
Yep. True.
Yeah. We need to be open-minded and always learning, and can we be wrong? So that's the thing too, right? So
don't be afraid. Yeah.
Is it okay to have had one point of view, and then okay to look at, okay to be open to other facts, like you said, but isn't it really that quest for just knowing the truth? But I think as our society has been going along for the last little bit, we've just been spoon-fed information, and so we're not used to, for one, digging in and finding out things for ourselves. It's a hard thing to do. It takes effort, and we still want to be. Too. It does. It takes time. Yeah.
You got to read, and you have to find sources that can contradict like I love to go on news sites and alternative bloggers and stuff that I disagree with, especially when they're smart, because it's like, what is going on here? And that's a way better way to learn and to develop a worldview that you're grounded, you know.
Yeah.
Like when people go after your religion or your philosophy or whatever, every time you have that discussion, I have the discussions all the time, and every time I get by realizing it, I get more clear in what I really believe. And sometimes it's like, oh, I don't really believe that. I thought I did.
Right.
I was that.
It's kind of like, Pierre, when people say, I don't know what I believe in, but I believe in a higher power. But
Right.
Why are you saying that? I'm not exactly sure what the higher power is, but I believe in a higher power. But people contradict themselves all the time. Like, I don't know what I believe in, but I believe in a higher power. Well, no, you do know what you believe in. You believe in a higher power.
It's true. Yeah. And people are interesting, right? So we should just learn to laugh at ourselves most of the time anyways, because we are very interesting people. We should not be engaged in disrespectful conversation one with another. And even the term argument, I was thinking the other day, you ever hear, oh, we got into an argument? Well, actually,
But you're just having discussion.
But 50 years ago, that would have been a good thing. It would be like, oh, you're debating something. That's what argument actually means. You know, you're actually like taking someone else's point of view and challenging it, saying, oh, do you really believe? Well, where did you get that from? Like, why do you believe that? Like it's okay to be challenged. Go ahead.
Sorry, did you ever see that interview with the British woman reporter interviewing Jordan Peterson, and she was being really hard on him, and finally he said, we have to have open discussion. The whole point of it is to be uncomfortable. You're making me very uncomfortable right now by asking these pointed questions. How are we ever going to get anywhere without getting uncomfortable? It's just like working out. You have to have the pain.
Push through the resistance.
You got to have the pain in your brain too. You know, like when you talk to someone who say became religious later in life or whatever, and their process, and it's fascinating to watch how they there's no rationalization at all. It's like whoom, something happened, and anytime you change your view, it's disruptive. But then you feel like, oh wow, okay. Yeah. And I think that with the science, like there's a cult of there's a tribalism, right, that we have as humans, and in science, you do not want to be alienated from your tribe.
And what's happened with what we just went through the last 3 years, science has become a religion. Yeah, it's just taking over, because a lot of people, you know, stopped going to church over the last 50 whatever years, and they're kind of just wandering aimlessly. What do I believe in? Where can I go for answers and things? Yeah. And science became that, and that's the new religion. Is they're high priests of.
It almost became a cult. Like if you don't believe in it, then you were ostracized.
And they actually call it scientism. Like the critique of it is scientism. It has all the traits of religion. Actually.
And there's true scientists out there that still welcome questioning, and they're against. They're against this new movement, this religious scientific movement that comes out and says, no, the answer is this, you must believe it or you're wrong. And then there's no questioning. So that's the apostate scientific community that's putting themselves up on a pedestal and saying they are they have all the truth.
They should actually
look at science. Just look at science and how many times it's changed their mind and realize, like, oh no, we're not a flat earth. We're now round. Right. Oh no, we're this, and oh, there's so many planets, and there's so, this is what's actually going on, guys. Yeah. One of the things that actually really evolved myself, Pierre, is actually looking into something that was ridiculous. And I was like, what do they believe in, and why do they believe in this? So I started looking into it, and then I became a believer. And I was like, whoa.
Same.
Yeah. So I was just like, whoa, okay.
I go with my gut first, but then I try and reverse engineer it with logic. I'm like, okay, I want to prove this right or wrong because my gut tells me this is right, but I have no evidence.
You have a gut. That's right. You have a gut, you have a brain, and you have a heart. And I think the three of those together need to kind of be in unison in order to kind of have an absolute confidence.
It's the Trinity. It's the Holy Trinity, really.
There you
It's
go.
and your fallback is reason. Okay, we all have faith in things. Some people have faith in science. Some people have faith in God. We all have faith. You cannot deny it. But you can. If you can't back your faith up with a reason and logic, then you just end up being a nihilist. You just end up, well, science, because science says that it's true. It's like, okay, who says that's true? Like, you have to go meta, right? So eventually the logic becomes a pure mathematical thought in your mind. And like, I can give you a mathematical formula why God exists, and you cannot disprove it because there is no math. It's impossible for God not to exist mathematically.
For sure.
Because the Big Bang is, oh, now we're getting really deep here. The Big Bang,
And we have 1 minute.
time and
1 minute,
space,
yeah.
right? I love this argument. It took me 20 years to get here, but the Big Bang is time and space at one point, okay? So that means there had to be a before the Big Bang,
Yep.
which is impossible. So there has to be something outside the Big Bang. That's it.
Yep.
It's simple. It's higher power. I don't care what you want to call it. It's impossible for that not to exist.
And even the theory of evolution, I love when people just say that as if it's a fact. There's so many holes in that, just that theory. It's the theory. Let's just get that correct here.
And
Theory.
it's actually, really smart scientist said this to me. It's actually adaptation.
Correct. Yes.
And there's a lot of missing evidence showing the actual before and after, for example.
Correct.
We have these huge gaps. So yeah, big questions we're answering here, aren't we?
Well, happy birthday week, Pierre. So I hope you're still
What's his
partying.
birthday?
It was Tuesday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thanks. Did you see that piece of cow I ate that was this thick on the hot stone? It's on my Facebook. Go look.
I'll go check it out. Now, a lot of people were chiming in. I just want to get it in here just before we wrap up, Diane. So just make sure to read the comments on Facebook.
Okay.
So many good comments, but my heart's going out to Miles right now, who feels a little bit ostracized because he does feel when he's on the bus, he feels wearing his masks help others feel a little more at ease. So he does that
That's
for
not
others.
my job. I'm sorry,
That's
but I'm
fine.
not gonna
But he
stop
kind
my
of,
oxygen to make
That's
other
true.
people feel more
No,
comfortable.
but at the same time, again, it's the respect of other people's feelings, and that's totally good. So again,
We're
my
doing
heart,
too much of that.
it's
We
fine.
just need to have thicker skin.
I just think it's good on both sides to be able to acknowledge that
I
too.
don't know how
It's
to
okay.
say about that.
But yeah, so many comments, Miles. But no, we're not mocking you per se. If it's to, I think what we didn't like, I think the truckers kind of went to Ottawa to say we want freedom. So we would fight for your freedom to wear a mask on the bus or wear a mask wherever you want for whatever reason.
You want to wear one, you
feel.
wear the one.
That's right. But to impose it on others is a different thing, right? So that's the idea. So thanks, everyone. Thank you guys for being on. We're now out of time. Great show,
Happy
though.
Friday.
Happy Friday, everyone. Stay tuned now for Earshot.
Friday.
Earshot Daily on CKLU 96.7 FM. We'll be back Monday. Have a great weekend. Ciao.
Ciao.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.